seconds. Hopefully it's not too close to the camera. I've got a temporary setup at the moment that I'm working with, and it's not the most comfortable, but I'll work with what I got. So today's stream is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to like draw one thing and work on it. I'm just going to essentially doodle a bunch of random things. And just not overthink it. And sometimes you'll have a plan, or something in mind that you want to draw. But right now I don't really have anything in mind that I want to create. So I'm kind of just sketching. Hopefully it focuses properly. Hey, Ornell. Which country? Australia, man. What about yourself? Pakistan, cool. Oh, there's a guy singing outside. I don't know if you can hear. Well, the concept for today is how to draw anything that you want. And now. Oh, your chat wasn't working? Hey, Amy. That's right, hopefully it's back up. I got an English accent. Spider-Man. You can draw Spider-Man. Like, get a reference photo. Or don't, you don't have to. And get in mind what you want to draw. Right now I'm just drawing a face. You know, like, the idea of drawing anything is so vast that it becomes a bit daunting. But if you don't overthink it and you realize that everything is just made up of these, just simple lines, and then add a little bit of depth to it, and look at that, you've got a cube. Right. So Square? I guess it's a square. Because it's 2D, right? I mean, we don't have to get into the metaphysics of if it's an actual cube or not. But you get the idea, right? Everything is made up of this kind of stuff. Cubes. Ovals. Cones. Not the best cone, because I'm doing it without any. Anyway, you get the idea, right? I'm also not in a very ergonomic position for drawing with the camera setup. Like, you don't have to overthink it. Like, sure, it's not. None of these are masterpieces. Right, I'm not gonna frame them and put them on a wall. But it's just getting into the habit of drawing what you want to draw. There's no set standard. A frog with a top hat of Abraham Lincoln. Challenge accepted. So I'll talk my way through my methodology right now. I use this line right here as the, I guess, the perspective. And then the top hat will just be that line, right? And then frogs have pretty big eyes, and they don't really look at each other. They kind of like look away from each other. Now, I'm not doing this off any reference, bear in mind, so it might not look very good. But if you do distinct characteristics of what a frog kind of looks like, give them a button up as well. And I'm also drawing very small because the iPad is very close to the paper. It would probably look a little bit nicer if I drew it a little bit bigger. And maybe a cane. Right. And look, we got the feet of a frog. Bada bing, bada boom. And then, from here, right, this wouldn't be my final sketch, obviously. It's a bit, oh, welcome back, Gothic. It's a bit, primitive, right? It's not very, there's not much going on, and it's also very small and hard to see. So I'd use this as like a, reference, or like a, what do they call it? Thumbnail for what I'm gonna do. Alright. So you get the idea of what I've got. You know, it's got the hat, big eyes, and he's gonna be wearing a suit and holding a cane. Now, I'm not gonna spend half an hour drawing a whole frog and do the top hat and stuff, but if I wanted to, I've got the thumbnail right here. Oh, you can hear that car? Really? Seems pretty far away. Any more suggestions? I'm gonna fix up the Abraham Lincoln frog a little bit. See if we can. And frogs kind of have that almost underbite. Some of them. So I'll give them a bit of an underbite here. They've got those huge eyes. With the hat there. A chicken in a suit. Let's do something a little bit different because we've already got a bit. Or you think he looks like a chicken in a suit? He kind of does. Let's try and do something a little bit different. Stray away from our suited fellow. There we go. Abraham Lincoln frog. Human with a dog. Nice, good and simple. Alright, so the simple things are usually the harder ones to get right because they're so normal, day to day. Everyone sees a person walking their dog, right? So you can add a bit of your own to it. Alright, so I've drawn the collar there. And then I'm just essentially using this as the backbone for what I want to do. Look, if you can only draw a stickman, that's fantastic. You know, like, you don't have to be drawing completely accurate anatomy when you first start. Alright, like this anatomy of a dog is right now kind of atrocious. Look how big his stomach is, his legs are kind of tiny, his head is huge. But also, it doesn't really matter, because with all the breeding that's going on with dogs, who knows, could be a new species of dog. There are no rules. Right, and then this was its collar, right? So we can, person holding on, it looks like he's jumping for the frog. Now, we have our torso of the person. Now, a cool little tip for drawing people is that the legs are nearly 50% of the human body. So if you draw legs first, you don't have to, but if you draw legs first, you've almost done 50% of the person, right? So you're halfway done, and you've just done the lower body. And then all I need to do is a little oval for his head. And there he is, right? Now it's not detailed, kind of looks like a spaceman wearing a helmet, but we've got the base of what we want to do. And it's also good to remember that, you know, this is just, we're just thumbnailing. We're not trying to create the next Da Vinci, right? We're just kind of getting ideas down. Maybe he has a belt, you know, there's no... His shoulder's a bit too high. He might be pulling him back from trying to jump on the dog. You know, there's no rules. You can kind of make it up as you go. Oh, other way. Yeah, the frog gun, it does look like a cowboy. Put a belt and a pistol on his hip, who knows? Cool. How to draw literally anything. First you need something to draw, right? That's the first step. And if you don't, that's okay. We're going to start off with having nothing to draw. I have nothing in mind right now of what I want to draw. That's totally fine. I'm just going to use the lines that I've marked on the paper as the reference. Maybe that's a spike, I don't know. It could be a creature. I like to draw creatures, so I think that's the direction we're going to go in. Put his eye here already. You know, it's not committing too hard into what this is going to look like, but it seems as though this is going to be the head. This is going to be his jaw. He's got a bit of an underbite here. Now, when you do things like this that aren't real, you can start to break the rules. If you know any rules at all. Right? So, it could be a fantasy creature. And maybe his jaw has a certain kind of hinge that isn't normal. Maybe his neck. Oh. You can probably hear that car in the background. Several of them, actually. I'm trying to show off how cool they are. And they're gone. Yeah, so the cool thing about fantasy creatures is you can make it up. It could be a cat-like creature. It could be, I was thinking more of like a horned, what's that, lizard. Kind of horned lizard that I'm thinking of right now. But I'm gonna give him some shoulders here. And maybe his other shoulder will be visible on the other side here. If you're enjoying yourself, let me know. If you have any ideas of what to give the creature, chuck it in. I might give it to him. Right now I'm working on his arms and his torso, so if you have any ideas for arms and torso, let me know. We're here to draw literally anything, and right now it's some sort of creature. Turn the page a bit. There we go. Give it a bit more space. So, if you were here previously, we were doing some thumbnail sketching on just random stuff. We had a frog with a top hat, and he was in a suit. The other suggestion was someone walking the dog. And now we're going into a more finalistic stage of the process. Which is, we've got an idea. Well, actually, we didn't have an idea when we started, but now we have an idea of what we want to do. And we're just kind of going with the flow, seeing what happens. He's going to have his arm bent like this. So we're going to have his arm go up this way like he's crawling. A bit of a wire frame for his claws before I commit to any shape. And it's always good to do a frame to frame the shape that you want to do before you commit to it. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's worked for people previously. And then when I started following, it worked pretty well. And it's also important to understand what works for you. I might give you ideas that aren't the most applicable for yourself. That's totally fine. You know, do what works for you. If drawing blindfolded works better, draw blindfolded, you know? There's no hard and fast rules of what works and what doesn't. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil real quick. Turn on this page so you can... I always find it super satisfying watching people sharpen their pencils. Not the sharpest, but this will do. Hello. Alright, back to the drawing. It's getting quite warm. Alright. So now that I've got a sharper pencil, I can give these fingernails a bit more attention. Focus, there we go. I'm going to give this sketch another 10 minutes, depending on how good the energy is. Might go for longer, but right now I think I'm going to be going for another 10. Fixing up the outline of the character, making sure that it's able to be seen.
kind of like the idea of him having a split chin. There we go. A good way to add some depth to your drawing. Got this from Bobby Reynolds. Is to layer some shading in different directions. So I think this chin isn't dark enough. Okay. Alright, so if you've enjoyed these little motivational tips on how to get something on the paper that you've thought up in your head or saw online or someone told you about, show me a bit of love. If you want to see more, stay subscribed and I'll put them out. Yeah, it is a bit like a rhino head. I should probably make it a bit more defined of his horn, but it's kind of almost like his whole head is blocky, so I might not. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm about to finish up, so it doesn't matter too much anyway. But yeah, take a bit of time, draw something you like, and if you don't, that's okay too. It's all a learning process. Even I'm still learning. It's like there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's just the way that you do it. And if you want to just splash color on a page, hey, if it works, it makes you feel good, I won't stop you. Alright, I'm gonna finish up here actually. Hope you drew something that you liked. Hope you learned something. These are just ideas that have been working for me. Hopefully they work for you. If they don't, that's okay too. Find your own ways. A lot of the method I discussed were just learning by trial and error. I'm not classically taught or anything. YouTube has a bunch of different ways and pathways to learn. Lots of experienced artists on there. yeah, so just draw whatever you want to draw. And make it fun. Anyway, peace.